Hey, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to Extreme Bronco Live Wednesday night. Can you guys hear me? How's
Sound
the
check.
audio sounding? So, what's up, Becky? How you doing?
I'm great.
Howdy, John Burdett, G. Willikers. What's going on? Overlanding for fun, Tim. What's happening? So, I have a special guest here tonight with me. Imagine that. She made me turn the volume down on the headphones. Let me know.
You're trying to kill every last little bit of hearing.
Oh, whatever. Getting old and grumpy, right?
Yep.
Let me know if you can hear us all right, if you don't mind, in the comments. So we have a abbreviated show tonight. How's that? Can you tell that? Well, you can't hardly see. I look like all blacked out here. Thanks, Dirk, for that. I appreciate it. Technical disasters. Hello, what's going on? So we have on sweatshirts, and it's what, the end of May?
I know.
I mean, what's up with that?
Cold spell the last.
You've got the cool
days.
sweatshirt. Show everyone your sweatshirt.
Def Leppard. Dawn and the Def Leppard.
Yeah, you gotta love it. But yeah, so it's a little chilly here today, a little rainy, sideways wind and stuff like that. And hey, what'd you think about the nor'easter damage in the Outer Banks on the beach to the dunes and the beach itself?
It was pretty sad, actually. It was very heartbreaking. The erosion on the dunes, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'd never been down there right after a nor'easter. And further down the shoreline in Rodanthe, North Carolina, there were two houses that were actually swept away into the ocean. So
was it only two?
I think so. I thought it was two, maybe three. I don't know. But anyways, two definitely. So it was a pretty bad storm for them, and the roads were washed out further down for a while. But up north where we were in Kerala, I was just a little bit surprised to see the erosion.
There was a section of a beach. It was pretty wide. I mean, I don't know how wide it was, but put it this way, it was kind of tight. Remember that one Jeep's pulled over and let 10 Broncos go by.
Yeah.
And but it was that narrow. See what I did there? It was
narrow.
But yeah, it was cool. And it was pretty narrow at that one spot. Now that's up near North Carolina line. So so tonight we're gonna have a short show. Say that 10 times, short show. But we're going to talk about the Bronco Raptor numbers. They came out yesterday. Did you see my video on that we did?
Who, me?
Yeah. You don't watch our channel?
Partially. I was working last night.
Okay. So 418 horsepower, 440 feet-pounds of torque.
Okay.
Now, I mean, compare that. I mean, you can't compare it to your other vehicle.
I was hoping for a little bit higher, but
well, I set myself up for 445 and 510 on the torque. That would have been like,
and I guess that's what I was banking on too,
because I kept saying it. But they did say 400 plus, so they're plus 400, right? So 418 and 440. So I think with
too bad.
No, it's not. And mobile, I have I hear it. They'll rebuild with some of that sweet
money. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I hear you. It took me a minute there. I was wondering what your second comment was, but I figured it out. I'm a little slow on these live streams, man. I'm always trying to, before I repeat a comment, if it's not just like, "Hey, I can hear you" and all that, because I don't want to go
process it.
Yeah, and of course, our hearts go out to the families of the victims yesterday in Texas. It's horrible. I do want to say that. Let's have a moment of silence, please. But in the sake of getting our minds off that, let's go ahead and talk about some other stuff. I know it seems trivial when you try to go from one to another, but we were talking about that today, and so let's get our minds off that. I just want to show our respect for the family. So the Outer Banks, there was a lot of debris.
Yes.
There was a lot of debris on the beach. Now, some of that probably came from down south where the houses went in. Did you hear that? There was a story today about how, well, how it is, but how dangerous the beach could be, with the Memorial Day. Was it Memorial Day, right? Memorial Day weekend with all the debris in the beach. So, from all of that happened. Anyway, so we went down to Corolla and Corova. Now, I'm surprised I didn't get burn up in the comments over that because I kept saying Corolla when technically the further you go north, you're in Corova Beach, right? Anyway, Corolla. If I say either one, it's like that section right there. But we had a good time. How'd the Bronco do? Again, excellent. Third time, right?
Always excellent.
Yeah. So, loose sand. And here's the thing about driving in sand, especially on the beach. 1 minute you're passing someone with street tires, as long as they air down on the packed sand. But the minute they get into loose stuff, they're cruising and then suddenly they're not. They're stuck. Right. We entered the beach and there was a big F-250 there.
Yeah.
For some reason, just like the excursion.
It's the sticky spot. Everybody gets stuck.
But did you notice there was not anything happening in the front of that truck? So I think
yeah, you noticed that.
Yeah, it was just the rear wheels. And Andrea, thank you very much. Hello. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate it. And by the way, Andrea, you really help us out a lot in those super chats. Super chats help our channel grow. It helps us to fund stuff because Becky doesn't, you've cut me off financially on spending money on the YouTube stuff. You're like, all right, yeah. So we depend on super chats. And if you really want to help us out, this would be cool. You can go to drivenwildgear.com.
Yes.
Pick up a copy of my book, Driven. This great big old thing out here. Whenever we move our home studio now, this is not going to be here. It's going to be something else behind us. A surprise. So the book Driven, if you ever want to get pumped up.
It's a nice read.
And it's it's a nice read. Mobile said F-250s weigh at least 7,000 pounds. You're right. So that was the first thing I noticed. Wow, what a big truck. Yeah. And it was an extended wheelbase on top of that. Yes, something was going on with the front end. The wheels weren't turning, just the rear. And he just let it eat too. So then he was down to the diff. So now.
And he had a young guy trying to pull him out.
With a lightweight Chevy truck.
We offered, but they were not having it.
Hey, Mitchell Watts is in the house. Thank you, Mitchell.
Hey, Mitchell. Thanks.
1999 super chat. What's up? Keep reinvesting YouTube. It's worth it. See, listen to Mitchell. He knows.
So, hey, I'm not doubting that. I did not say that.
Mitchell, I really appreciate that. That really helps us. It goes a long way, and that's super nice of you to do that. And it was good seeing you in Supercell East. And
nice to meet you.
Yeah, next event, hopefully we'll see you there. Yeah. So what were we talking about? The Outer Banks. We hinted a little bit, or I briefly talked about the Bronco Raptor numbers. What do you think the Bronco Raptor would be on the beach? Think it'd be pretty cool?
Oh, I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, that's what we started talking about. Performance, right?
It's supposed to be a beast.
Well, yeah, it is a beast, actually. And I can't wait to do the dunes on that one.
Our Bronco does awesome. I could only imagine what the Raptor would do.
Yeah. Ryan Hemming.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan's asking about his Andrea said 6'2" and 6'3" super chats. So yeah, I hear you. I don't know is there a 6'4" in the house? Yeah, we'll see. That's another conversation. But yeah, so I was kind of merging the two there. I think the Bronco Raptor is really going to do well down there, especially on the dunes. Like I said, when you're driving down the beach, it's no big deal. Somebody will say, well, I saw a little car or some crossover all-wheel drive thing, right, until they get in the loose sand and then they're done, potentially. And the dunes, you remember that truck, that big Dodge truck trying to make it over the dune? He had to get like running starts and he just couldn't do it.
He tried a few times, yeah.
Because I think
it wasn't
maybe
happening.
Yeah, weight and the wheelbase and things like that. So, but the Bronco, man, we go out there and typically these dunes where it's real loose sand and you have to get a couple attempts at it. We just drove right up, so it's pretty cool. What's going on in the comments here? Bronco 78 said 12.5. I will know. John Burnett said, I would love to know if I receive my Everglades this year. I think you will. I really think we're going to be surprised this summer. I do. Now, all this is depending on when, if nothing else happens, right? This is all based on nothing else happening. Hey, Nick, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Tim, funny thing is, we didn't have to send it.
No,
it was something that we learned at Texas, Bronco Off Rodeo, Texas, and Momentum, right? So just like, I wouldn't even say Nashville, you know, the Mustang going around Nashville Super Speedway or Charlotte, it's, you know, I mean, yeah, it's true. You have momentum, but it's more of driving it, you know, driving it in the seat and things like that. Momentum up a hill is the inertia, right? You get going and you keep it going. When you stop and lose sand, suddenly you start to sink. Things start to spin. So once you get going, you want to stay going. It's just like going through mud. I mean, you know, you want to go through mud in a hurry. Now, of course, we don't like mud, but
I was going to say, I don't think I've ever really gone mudding.
Yeah. I think if
it's not on my list.
Right. Yeah. If we hit like 2 feet of mud, it's because we were like having a really good time or took a wrong turn or something. So,
no, speaking of sending it though, did you tell them on the last live? No, I guess this would be it. So we were on our way back from North Carolina this past weekend, and the weather was horrible, and we got stuck on the highway, Route 58 to be exact. Traffic was stopped due to an accident going the other way. Unfortunately, it appeared later that someone ran off the road. I mean, the conditions were terrible, but we were contemplating how deep the center ditch was in the middle, because we had to get home, and he was out there looking at it because it was pitch dark, raining, you know, cats and dogs, cows, whatever. And this guy behind us was driving a hopped up, what was it, a 4Runner?
4Runner. So there was 3 overlanding. One had a Jeep Cherokee, one was in a 4Runner, and I think there was 2 4Runners and a Jeep. And you want me to tell him?
Yeah, you tell him.
So I'm looking at the ditch with my flashlight, you know, because we're stopped and it's still, I think the rain, was it still raining?
Yeah, it was.
I think it was still raining a little bit. The lightning was crazy. We wanted to get out of there, and there's actually a bypass. So I'm looking at this ditch and I'm thinking, do I want to do this or not? And so this guy walks up and he goes, "Hey," he goes, "Are you going to send it across the ditch?"
And then what do you add? "I know you can make it."
Hey, no, yeah. He goes, "I'm pretty sure you'll make it." He said, "But if you don't, I know we're not going to try it." And that was a compliment to the Bronco.
Yeah,
you know, it's like if the Bronco doesn't make it, he wasn't even going to attempt it.
Right.
And so then that was the people that saw Gavin's shirt, and he was all terrain nation. He knew that. So I'm like, all right. And so he's like, "Hey, I watched that guy." So what is that going on over there?
Hey, All Terrain Nation.
All Terrain Nation.
Thank you so much.
Man, Dave, that is awesome. I appreciate that.
You guys are so
Look
generous.
at that. The super chats are awesome. Get to reinvest that money. Can I please buy some new gear? Please.
Yes. Didn't you just buy some new gear?
But it's YouTube. You're constantly buying. Do you see that camera Mitchell had in Supercell?
I don't think I did.
Send me a link, Mitchell. If you're still watching, send me a link to it. We're going to
get. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
I remember the drone, but I don't remember the camera in particular.
Super nice gear. Now we were talking the other day about updating the wireless. The audio seems to be the thing. When we were
we've had
when we were in Supercell, the audio.
Issues.
Here, I get shiny squirrel stuff. Let's finish that story. So we did drop the video where we were in North Carolina for the day last Saturday for a family kind of a barbecue thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did part of the video when we were getting rained on down there. It was just crazy coming back. But then we stopped and we got dinner, thank goodness, because what my other family members were ahead of us a little bit, and they ran through hail. Now you can imagine the hail beating on the Bronco. I would have been a little upset.
Yeah, he would have needed a Xanax or 2.
Yeah. So great. Nice. So we're cruising down, 58. If you know Southeastern Virginia, Route 58 is probably one of the most boring roads. Sorry if you live out that way. I'm so sorry. It's just boring.
Southampton County.
Yeah. So we're cruising. We're cruising down there, and I guess we think someone ran off the road and down onto a road that was below. So that's where all the rescue vehicles were. So hopefully they're okay. But it was kind of crazy. We're in the Bronco, and that's sort of the idea that a lot of people have. Hey, if you get stuck, I'm not doing it. That type thing. Mm-hmm. And so, but it was pretty funny. And I'm sure they wanted to see me send it, is what he said. When he said that, I was like, Becky, you'll never believe what this guy said.
That was so funny.
And he knows the name of our channel. So if you're watching, hello, I'm not picking fun at you. It's just an inside joke, but it was pretty cool. And Gavin's always wearing the All Terrain Nation t-shirt. So it's like, dude, you have like Bronco Wild Outdoors t-shirt. What happened? So,
well, he wears those too.
Yeah,
but
I know.
The coolest thing though is because we have the stickers on my Bronco, the Eruption green, and then he's lettered on his. When people drive by and then they pull you up on YouTube and subscribe to your channel as you're sitting in traffic. That's pretty neat.
Look, I got to cut you off
real
quick. No. I'm so sorry. This is huge. Ryan Hemming, thank you very much. $4.99 super chat.
Yes, thank you.
Ryan says, love your channel. When I get to listen, such a great community. Thank you very much. I do greatly appreciate that. And what do we have?
And then John Burnett.
John Burnett.
Thank you again.
John Burnett. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. What was that, $19.99? Yep.
That's awesome.
You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate
Camera
this.
Funds.
Yeah.
Altering Nation says, yep.
Yeah. We would get it going because, the audio, we were talking about audio, the video stuff, and actually production stuff. So that's something that's on me. I already have the production, the editing software. And what we're trying to do is bring you better content and also to have it look better and sound better. Because I know sometimes the audio is a little, I even had to put an overlay on the last video from the beach. Sorry about the audio.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina. And so I really do appreciate each and every one of these super chats. It's really, really, really helping us. It is definitely right. And John says, I believe Mitchell has a Sony A7. Or
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, we'll look it up. But yeah, we have a Canon M50, and I think part of the problem with the M50 is some of the settings that we need to work on. And remember, when your lighting is not perfect when you shoot the video, that you can do a lot in editing. Not necessarily iMovie, but in like Premiere or something like that. Okay. So, but while we're talking about this, is we really want to start bringing you some really good. Hopefully, we're bringing you good content, but the visuals and the audio is something that I want to get going here. Hey, let's go back through some of the comments.
So Ryan, you chose the Eruption Green Everglades. I'm going to have to say, I love the Eruption Green.
The Eruption Green is pretty awesome.
It's beautiful.
Hey, let's go through the comments here and see. So we have Tim with Overlanding for Fun in the house. G. Willikers. We said hello. John Burnett. Dirk Connor. Technical Disasters. Thanks for tuning in again. There's Nick. Nick's here. Mobile. What's going on? Bronco 78. Let's see. Andrea, of course. Thank you very much for that super chat. We appreciate you, my friend. Ryan, thank you for that super chat. And Mitchell with Town and Country TV. Thank you very much. Love your videos, by the way. If you're still here watching, we're always checking them out. Let's see. We have Nick there, and there was someone else. I'm gone in 60. Hello, what's up? How are you doing? Let's see what else we have going on here. And All Terrain Nation, thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you want to maybe plan a trip to one of these off-road parks that is just straight up sand that you can really, really have some fun. That. I think you can crank it up. You can send it. You can you can do some fun stuff. I mean, you really can.
And not get in trouble. Unfortunately, you can't do donuts on the beach. They'll kick you off or stuff like that. The whole preservation thing, which I totally agree with. So you have to keep it cool.
Mobile was talking about let's see here. I probably need to go back to the earlier comments here. Silver Lake ORV park in Mears. Yep. So that's where a lot of people go there. I see a lot of video from there. I think that's where that 2.3 Bronco was kind of doing the donuts.
Oh, really?
And they were just going and going and going and going and going.
Look that up.
Yeah. And that was the one where I was saying, well, let it idle for a few minutes. By the way, we have a little bit of knowledge on that oil temperature and transmission temperature from Saturday. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But I was trying to get back to Mobile's other comment here. Let's see. The park originated in 1920 on 25 acres. East side of Silver Lake was donated for park purposes. Mears.
That's cool.
Wow.
Neat little
the Mears
there.
family. Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate that. And he said in 1926, the federal government transferred 900 acres of to the state, which became the Sand Dunes Park in 1949. That's good to know. I like knowing the history on that. But that's somewhere we could go, right?
Michigan?
Now there's a few things up there.
There's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah, but there's the Woodward Dream Cruise that you can do, and you can probably work around this. I mean, there's a little bit of logistics in there because if you're going to do the Dream Cruise, you kind of want your stuff cleaned up, right? See, Ryan said he chose the Eruption green. You just mentioned that, didn't you? Everglades. And the Eruption green's a very, very nice color. Someone commented the other day on one of our social media posts, and they said, they're back and forth between cactus gray and Eruption green. And it's kind of funny because they're
so
sort of
different.
opposites. Yeah. And they didn't like a lot of the bronze hue in it because the one that they saw was very rich. Like,
it just depends on the lighting,
and that's what I said. It depends on
every shade. I call it the chameleon. I really like it. I'm not a huge green fan, but as soon as I saw it, I really did like it, and more so in person than just looking at it in a picture, because it does have that gold hue or brass in certain lights.
All right,
it's just different.
I'm going to do something here. We're going to bring in a guest here. Why don't you talk about your experience driving on the beach? This is new. Wheeling is new to you. And yes, we talk about the beach all the time, just like we talk about the Raptor all the time. But, for us, that is the closest wheeling that we're going to be doing. Mm-hmm. And then the second closest will be up in the mountains of Blue Ridge and doing some rock. Of course, you're going to get dirty. We're not, it's going to get dirty. Who cares? But we're just not going to sink it in mud like a mud.
No, I'm not interested in that. My experience, that's what you want to know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so easy. You don't, at least driving on the beach, it's not like you have to have some plethora of knowledge. I mean, air down your tires to 20.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that. But other than that, you just don't stop in the real sticky spots. And like you were saying earlier, just keep up your momentum. Just keep driving and have fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, it reminds me of driving the 4-wheeler in snow.
Right.
How you get to fishtail around. It's cool, but it handles so well.
Yeah. And it's that you said it, the 4-wheeler. It's like a big 4-wheeler.
Yeah, it is. It's so easy.
And, but driving down the beach, now this is one thing. So someone showed us a picture of a Jeep that kind of just burned down to the rims.
I did not see the picture. I need to look that up. But
yeah, well, ask them this. There might be a story on it. And so what happened was, apparently, either one of the tires didn't pop or whatever. That they could tell he had 55 psi in the tires, and you're supposed to air down to 20 there. And apparently that's going to really work on the drivetrain. It's going to heat the transmission up. And then so we were driving, and our transmission temperature went to like 214 or 215. They're on a really long run and loose stuff, and you can watch it come down a little bit when you get on the pack stands. And here, let's add Dave here. We have a special guest here, by the way.
What is going on, everybody?
All right, you don't have any music around you, do you?
Don't get us in trouble, man.
Where are you? Oh, you're at your house. It looked like. Where are you?
I'm at Sonic.
Ah.
I'll give you a Sunday. How about, what do y'all want?
Chocolate shake would do good. Yeah.
All right, well, Duane, I have to. First off, I want to congratulate you on those super chats, dude. It's well deserved. You guys need the fundage. People, I challenge everybody. You can give $1. Give $1. It helps the channel grow, and help these guys out, because YouTube is expensive. No matter what you think of it, you don't make a lot of money. It's expensive, so I challenge you on that. But I have breaking news for you, Duane.
What's that?
Let's hear it.
You know all the problems. I mean, first off, we gotta admire the Jeep, right? I mean, look, I know the Bronco, but we gotta admire the Jeep.
Yeah.
So you guys have known all the problems that I've had with, well, I won't say all the problems I've had with my Bronco, but it's been in kind of purgatory. I don't know what's going on.
Yep.
Right.
It's been a nightmare. So yesterday I started calling the dealership, and it would ring and ring and ring, and frustration starts setting in, and you're like, what is going on? And I didn't want to tell any of this last night. So today, finally I got somebody yesterday evening, and they're like, I'll have your service tech call you tomorrow. It gets about 3 p.m. I'm like, man, what is going on with these people? Why are they not contacting me about my Bronco, because if your viewers don't know, if they don't know our channel, ours is leaking diff fluid out of the pinion seal.
Yep.
And so today I finally got a call, and I wanted to let everybody know that our trip to Moab is back on.
Yay!
Come on, is it really?
Awesome.
What's up?
And they promised me the truck will be ready the 29th, which gives me plenty of time to get the truck prepped and ready to go. So I wanted to break that news here on your channel, man.
I appreciate that. That's awesome. Yeah, that's really. So is it just the seal, and then they're going to refill it?
Yeah. So what they said, they drained the diff on it. They, what they're doing is checking for metal shavings and just making sure nothing, chunks don't come out of it that shouldn't. It is making a little bit of clicking sound, but they're pretty sure that it's just because the fluid was getting low in it. So they're gonna get the seal in, which the seals I've heard are a nightmare to get. And I
got
that, and they said, hey, we're such a high volume dealer that we kind of get prioritized over smaller dealers. I'm like, I don't care how you do it. like
just get it.
Ford about this, and Ford's like, we don't want, and I'm not anybody, but they were like, we don't want, the auto journalist mad, and we want to make sure that you're happy because you will translate how well we've taken care of you. And I didn't even have to. I called Ford, and they were like, we will ASAP parts, but my dealership finally came through. So I'm training. I'm standing out here in the middle of a parking lot. Game, and I got that news, and I thought, Duane is live. Let's break it here.
That is awesome. I appreciate you doing that. Yeah, that's really good news. So the Moab is back on for All Terrain Nation. So Dave and Kelly are headed back out. That's good.
That's awesome.
Right.
That's good.
I do seriously. I challenge everybody to donate at least $1. Come on, man. You got good donations tonight, man.
Yeah, we are ready to crank up the production on this channel. How about that?
And you were going to talk editing. We're talking editing this weekend, man.
Yeah, we're going to do. I'm not going to say we. I'll be schooled in editing. Okay, so I'm going to be learning from the teacher.
Yeah. Take up any. I know you got a big pack show. I don't want to take up any more of your time, but I just wanted to let everybody know you heard it here on Duane's channel. Help the channel grow by just smashing that like button for them. Show them some love. When this posts, leave a comment and help them grow. So, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive for this Jeep I'm currently driving.
This has been your special episode of All Terrain Nation dropping into Bronco Wild Outdoors. How about that?
Awesome.
Peace. See you later.
Thanks, Dave.
That was pretty awesome. Yeah, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're welcome here anytime. So that was so that is really great news, isn't it?
That is. I'm so glad to hear that.
A seal, apparently the seal is not being set properly, or at least on a few of them. And so it's loosened up and caused a little bit of a leak. So replace the seal, make sure it's set properly, fill it with fluid, and back to Moab they go. So that's really, really awesome. I appreciate that. And let's get back to the comments here. Oh, let's see. Someone who was getting the sand, what do you call it? The Everglades.
Oh, we have
desert sand. Sand. Somebody's getting yeah.
So who was it here? Was it Ryan? No, John Burnett. You chose the desert sand color, but the salesman called and said it was going to be delayed, so we went with the Area 51. I'm very partial to the Area 51. I think you made a good choice with that too. I mean, honestly, all the colors, it's like the rainbow of Broncos. I mean, it's so hard to pick, in my opinion.
So let's get back to the comments. Mobile was talking about Silver Lake again. Everything from stock SUVs to dune buggies, sand rails, and hill climbers, and everything, quad, side by side. So just everything that can go, pretty much in the that can go out right in the sand, dirt, whatever. It's probably there. Justin Zimmerman. Let's see. Everyone says my Eruption green looks better in person than in the photos. In love with, and plus. So Justin has that big logo on the side, the Sasquatch in the mountains. Remember that one?
Yeah, we met at Supercell.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's sharp. It was kind of funny when we were there. I saw it sitting there. I was like, man, I've been checking this thing out on Instagram, and here it is. Like.
Well, I hadn't seen it on Instagram.
I was a total groupie.
I like the Sasquatch on it. I thought that was
yeah,
cool.
but I want to check it out in person. It's pretty cool. So good deal on that. And that's another thing. I just love the mods there. Joel says, love the Eruption green. I saw it a few in Flagstaff. Did you just read this? You didn't read this. While attending the Overland Expo West. Yep, that is.
So you're keeping Cactus Gray, and I have to say too, when we first saw the reveal for the Bronco, when we were watching it on TV that night, the night we placed you placed what I thought was one reservation, but he surprised me with it was two. Anywho, moving right along, I really liked the Cactus Gray at first. I thought, oh my gosh, you have to get that color. But then seeing the Area 51, that grew on me. And here recently, though, I've seen so many of the Cactus Gray. And again, it's like that color. It's sort of similar to Area 51 in the way that it is a flat paint, but it just changes so much in the lighting.
Right.
And I think it's a really nice color. I really like that color.
Yeah. And it is. And someone in our area has a Cactus Gray with the spare tire delete.
Yeah. That's, I believe, our friend.
And, well, from school.
From
kids' school. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Someone we know.
Yes.
But let's see. And we need to connect with them sometime. That'd be pretty cool.
I
Go out there.
To reach out to her.
Let's see. What
Doodle joining us.
So Mobile says 250 degrees Fahrenheit is about as hot as you want a transmission. Yeah, it was just interesting. Not that it was too hot, but I thought it was interesting watching the temperatures of both the engine.
You really kept your eye on that.
And the transmission of while you're going through the stand, just to be conscious of it. So we air down to 20 psi, which is supposedly a state law. It's what we read and what we understand. But if it's a 3/4 ton truck, I think it's 35 psi, something like that. But in a Bronco, it's going to be 20, and you just air down and you keep going and go from there. Dirk Connor says, that's fantastic, Dave. Yes, it is. That is awesome. He's going to get his Bronco back.
And I have to break your news. Okay, so Joel, thank you so much for the super chat. That's awesome.
Oh, did Joel send us a super chat?
He sure did. That's incredible.
Hey, Joel, thank you very much. That is awesome. Like I said, these super chats are awesome. We greatly appreciate you. YouTube sometimes is very, very hard. I won't say sometimes. I'll say YouTube is hard because we want to put out quality content. And I want you to be able to check out our videos and maybe see something or hear something that you didn't know, or maybe you knew it, but you wanted more information on it. It's kind of what we want to bring. And so I'm really trying to crank that up. It's another reason to move into Wednesday night. I think we can do a better job. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to spend that weekend somewhere.
Yeah. It just got to be a little difficult.
Yeah.
Doing the weekend things, and weekends obviously they're so limited that you just run it up right to the last minute.
No, remember the Walmart trip to get the lantern?
Yeah,
because I had this crazy idea
that he was going to live stream from the back of the Bronco.
Right, so she was driving, I was in the back seat with Gavin, and we had the lantern up, and
which
so
didn't work out.
It was just right.
It was a great idea. The theory's awesome. It just wasn't enough.
Right. So it might not look like it with the lighting we have in here, but we have 3 specialty studio lights and then some other things happening, including what you see behind us. So this, look, it's hard to get this right, much less a Coleman lantern, which I like Coleman, don't get me wrong. But that lantern we added to our camping gear.
Yep.
Because that's going to be very cool.
It'll come in handy.
It'll come in handy. But
Da Vinci, let's talk. You say you let the wife drive tonight, and that was scary. Did she send it, or what? What's the story there?
Over the curb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully not.
Well, and if you're going to take out a curb, you got to do it head on, right? So you don't scuff the sides.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's hear more about that. Let the wife drive tonight. That was scary. So, that's what you say about my driving, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what you say.
Mm-hmm.
Probably say worse behind my back.
Just look for the invisible break in the floor.
Ryan waits for the 620 to be disappointed. No, it's going to happen. There's a lot of product being freed up, by the way, from what I understand. Little back channel stuff. What dealership is it? Ford Murphy. Yeah, that's talking about Dave's there. Let's see. What else we have going on? Bronco 78. He said, I'm not going to read that there.
Well, I'll read it.
No, that's all right.
You don't want me to read. Okay.
He said, no, that's fine. Must have been
funny.
The last seal at the end of the Friday shift. It might have been. That's
before a holiday weekend.
Yeah. Mobile, they live close to me. John Burnett's called him about, and yeah, Joel, thank you again for that super chat. Everyone that the super chats tonight's really awesome. We definitely appreciate you. I'm Gone in 60 says, I'm curious to see if any of the new colors show up on the 23 models, Bronco, Maverick, Rangers, etc. Last night I was a guest over on the happy hour. Dave's and Tim's show there on Tuesday night, and we were talking a little bit about that and going through some of the speculation, the colors that would be added. And there's a couple. Well, there was one blue that we thought that would be maybe a possibility, but if they add colors, what are they going to take away? So, do you think Cyber Orange is here to stay, or do you think something like Area 51 or Cactus would go? Because Area 51 and Cactus are both very popular colors.
I don't see them getting rid of that.
And I don't know the take rate or how popular the
Cyber Orange.
Cyber Orange
but
is.
You know what? Cyber Orange, it's just I like that one too. I don't know if I would buy it just because I'm more of a very conservative person. I don't like to be super flashy.
Yeah.
But it is really pretty, but it is super flashy. I don't know. Because they need that.
And it's a metallic. It's a metallic paint. What are the flat colors? White, black, Area 51, Cactus Gray, Race Red. So they had Rapid Red, which we know is no longer.
Oh, that's right.
Antimatter Blue.
Which I really like that one.
I think it was Mitchell was talking about, maybe it's because it's not like where you can panel paint. You have to do a lot of feathering it in. It's a very hard color to match because of the metal stuff. Antimatter and Rapid. So, and if he didn't say that, I won't, put words in it. I think that's where I heard it. I heard it somewhere, right? But it makes sense because it's a hard color to match. I wonder how Cyber Orange is, how easy it is to match that. I think Area 51 is one of those colors that, depending on how old the vehicle is, and of course, obviously now they're not that old, but say in the future, 5 years down the road, when you do, say, a panel match, is it going to be, is it going to be very noticeable? How much fade's going to be in there? I don't know. But if they add colors, what do you think they're going to get rid of? Now, Becky has the current colors pulled up here, but I think they'll add maybe some of the Mustang colors in there.
Yeah, but they don't have Eruption green on here. They're missing some.
Well, I don't know what that is. That might have been an early release. You have to look at the date. Yeah, look at the date on that. 21. That's old news now. Hey, and I'm going to ask everyone watching right now, don't go anywhere. I have a favor to ask. I have a car that is technically, I listed it for sale. Someone wants it now. I'm having second thoughts. I want your opinion on it. Let's see here, if you don't mind. I know it's a car. We're talking Bronco stuff and off-roading, but definitely get your help on it. Let's see. Light lanterns are great for restroom visits late. Mobile's talking about that. Yeah, you know what? We have one now. Let's see. Da Vinci said, hi, Duane, loved your oil change video. Is changing the air filter to an aftermarket part worth it? Just kidding about the wife driving. Yeah, I know you are. I'm always giving Becky.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm playing with you.
Bring that out. Well, that's a good question. So when you say aftermarket, just aftermarket might not necessarily be the best thing. Ford has the Motorcraft filters. They have really, really good fitting filters with a good, let's see, I forget what microns, like down to, it's not microns. It's, come on, Mobile, help me out here. I know you're going to help me out here. Basically, it's the particulates that I'm drawing a blank right now on what it is, but the particulates that it can catch. Ford filters do very, very well. And so that gets into the small particles that makes it through the air box and into the filters. I would say something, like I've had K&N filters in the past. I'm not going to recommend something that I haven't researched on for the Bronco. I can just tell you that the filter that comes in it from the factory is a nice, tight fitting filter that collects some pretty small particles. I remember reading the number thinking, wow, and I need to do a video on that actually. We took our Bronco to the beach 2 times. And after the second trip, I checked the filter. Now, why did I do that? One day we had a lot of wind blowing and we had a lot of airborne sand.
Yeah.
So I wanted to see, not that I was worried
Sand
or anything,
blizzard,
I just wanted to see based on what was airborne, how much made it, through the grill into the air box and into the filter. And amazingly, it was just a little bit. It wasn't that much. So, and you do have some of these, cold air boxes. You have some different stuff. Look, Roush makes a solid part anyway. I have a Mustang that has a lot of Roush components in it. They make really good products across the board. I haven't researched it though, but let me do this. Let me research it, and we are definitely going to find out what, at least in my humble opinion, what I think is best. I don't really know. That's a good, yeah. Mobile was saying microns. I said microns earlier, but I was trying to think of something else. But anyway, so let me do a video on that and let me research it because it's on my to-do list, but I haven't been able to research it. And I just don't want to tell you anything. I will tell you this, from all of the numbers, it's the factory air filters are not cheap. They're not, I don't know how much horsepower you gain by changing it. Has anyone, put one on a chassis dyno and started changing filters out to see if there's any performance difference? I don't know if that's been done. At least I'm sure it's been done somewhere, but is there a video on it? Is there a post on it? Did someone report on it? So I'm going to check that out. So if it sounds like I'm talking in circles, it's because I am. I wasn't prepared for that, but it is one of the things that I've been wanting to do. And people will come out with different stuff. I mean, someone's going to figure out a way to let more air in that air box. Now, will that help? I don't know that they haven't balanced it. So the intake, the drag, so to speak, the area that the air is going through, if that was increased, would it help leaving the filter? I think at that point, you start changing the filter size. You start doing a bunch of stuff to increase the overall airflow. I know that in the Mustang GT, I'm getting ready to show you a picture of, there was a little round thing in the fender. And that was one of the popular, weekend things you would do is you would take that out, and now there's suddenly a larger hole going into the air box, and it seemed to at least make more noise, if not give it a lot more oomph. Oh, let's see here. I'm sure paper filters are, the paper filters. I can tell you the oil filter that Ford sells, the Motorcraft oil filter, is excellent for oil filtration. That is definitely something that you saw in my oil change video. I recommended it. Cheap oil filters sometimes can cause some problems. It can actually fall apart. The pleats can collapse and kind of get twisted up. Sometimes the height of it, and these cartridge filters are a little bit different than a metal spin-on, and you want to make sure that the exact same dimension, both in diameter and height. So the oil filters, I can tell you without a doubt, Ford makes a really, really good filter. Let's see here. Where are we at on the comments? Mobile. Yep. Performance air filters rely on oil bath to capture infiltration, so that's not good to begin with. So that's been one of my things. So, the typical K&N, like in the Mustang, you have the recharger kit. It was a cleaner, and then you spray this oil on there, and that really helps to collect down that small stuff. I was thinking to myself, well, is that what I want to do in sand? But I don't want to say their product doesn't do something different because I want to research it, right? Mm-hmm. But I know that in the Mustang, and I did question that. But that is definitely something I want to look into. K&N builds solid stuff. I mean, they're a great company. So I want to research that and others as well. All right, so let's see here. I'm using dry performance filters now. Air Raid is in my Bullet. That's good to know. I'm going in 60. I'm definitely going to check into that. Let's see. Yeah. The desert conditions too. We were talking about snorkels on the Everglades. It helps. It's part of the configuration for water fording, right? The deeper the water you can go through. But the main purpose, if you look at these guys from down under in Australia and South Africa and places, which, by the way, we need to have someone on there, the snorkels they're using for dust, right? Higher up, cleaner air.
Right.
You can change the inlet around and go from there.
Yeah.
What were you?
We saw that vehicle when we stopped Saturday with the snorkel, and it was wasn't it from South Africa?
No, it was from the Middle East.
Oh, that's right.
So
yeah, it was. Okay.
There was this, and I have a picture of it, and I need to post it on Instagram.
And it was a
Forerunner.
That's what I was going to say, but then I started doubting myself.
Yeah, no, it was a Forerunner, and this thing was built like
he had it all decked out.
Yeah, like I was impressed with it.
The other interesting thing is the dog boxes.
Joshua George says, any news on the Everglades order numbers? So curious. Great show, you two. Thank you very much, Joshua. I appreciate that. I don't have any dates, numbers, anything solid on that. I've been scurrying around on the internet, looking and digging, and I cannot find anything on it. I do know that there seems to be this, I keep hearing from multiple people, this late June, early July time frame to where a lot of these components that are needed to finish the Broncos and other vehicles as well. But for the sake of our show here tonight, Broncos, I keep hearing that late June, early July stuff. So I'm looking for a big push. Now, I will tell you, MAP's going to be closing down. Someone may have a date on that. They're going to be closing down for the year change and what I understand, I'm just reading this online, but retooling for the new Ranger.
Oh,
that's the new Rangers coming out.
When is that they're closing down?
Well, that's what I was saying. I don't really know. It's this summer. Is it August? Someone may have a date on that. I think I heard August, but I don't want to tell you something if I'm not sure. I just know it's sometime in the summer. So there would have to be a massive push to get vehicles built. And I'm assuming if it's small bolt-on type stuff, that could be done as they're sitting. So
gotcha.
I don't really know. Bronco 78.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. $9.99. I like that. $9.99.
I know.
Thank you very much, Bronco 78. I definitely appreciate that. Since I can't make it to Supercell, Wisconsin, here's a little help with the camera fun. Great time.
Too bad.
4 great content from Wisconsin.
We had a great crew. Supercell East. That was fun.
Yeah, we even ended up
that was fun.
The Photobomb Steve. Yeah.
Okay, but no, it's Scott. Scott was his real name.
Don't say his name. We agreed not to say his name.
Sorry.
You didn't get the memo. No, Scott.
I missed
Steve,
the memo.
Whatever. He's probably a couple aliases.
It was fun.
But it was fun.
We had a great time.
Yeah, it was a great time. So yeah, well, maybe next April we'll
reconvene.
Yeah, we'll get everybody back together to Supercell East. That was a good time, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
Lots of fun.
And we hung out with Andrea there for 3 days, and Bronco 78 and Dave and Kelly. And let's see who else was there. I don't want to leave him with Tim. Overlanding for fun.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great time. So yeah, no, actually mobile, it wasn't him, not at all. No, that's actually somebody on another stream. Don't even bring that up. No, this guy, he showed up random. We were taking pictures of our Bronco. He drives into the picture
with his Bronco.
He hangs out the window in his Bronco. He had his dog in the back, and he's like, hey,
Photobomb.
Yeah. And so it was funny, right? And next thing you know, he's talking to us. Then he's hanging out with us, going places with us, going to dinner with us, hanging out.
The next day. It was fun.
Yeah, it was the most random weekend ever.
I know, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was a good time. So definitely a good time. Christopher said, I'll take that as a yes. I think I might have missed the first question out there. We have somebody home. Let's see. John Burnett, mobile, I agree. Would have done that when I bought my Ranger. Okay. So I'm gone in 60 says, so the new Ranger order banks open 7/18. So that's awesome. So that's when the order banks open, right? And then production starts, I guess, whenever the retooling's
done. When they come back.
Yeah. And it's not like they have to rebuild the plant. From what I understand, there's some modification in some of the machines, the robotics and things like that. because the new Ranger is different than the current one.
Right. I wonder how long it takes to retool that, though.
Well,
I'm just curious.
Remember, they totally rebuilt that plant for the Bronco and the current Ranger.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So now this is just modifying it for whatever they're having to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm sure production typically, I would think, would start out a little bit slower, maybe slightly, and then they ramp up just like they did initially. I did that sales report, and remember, a lot of people, I should have been a little bit clearer in this. When I did the sales report video here just a few weeks ago, it wasn't new sales. Obviously, the order banks are closed, but it's basically when a Bronco's built, delivered, and someone takes possession, paperwork, money changes hands. That's when they count that. So,
right.
And I think we have some company coming in here. So, if you hear my graduating daughter coming in the house here in just a second. Let's see. I'll take that as a yes. I need to go back. Christopher, maybe I missed the first part of that question. I'll go back and look at that in a minute. Ranger Raptor starts March of next year. So All Terrain Nation said that. Yeah, so that's the Ranger Raptor, but the new Ranger, right? The one that starts this fall, right?
Manalea is asking when we're going to lift the Broncos.
Right now I am comfortable with the height. I'm comfortable with the wheels. I'm comfortable with the fact that I don't have to work on it.
Right. Yeah, I'm okay with the height where it is now.
Yeah, and let me tell you, when you start lifting them and start putting bigger tires on them, you do start changing some of the geometry. And I think, we've all heard about the tie rods and some steering stuff like that. I kind of want to see that play out a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And, I said, based on that and the fact that I like the height of our Broncos right now, for what we're doing with them right now. Now, what does the future hold? Who knows? Because I'll never say we'll never lift them. Right now I'm sticking with what I have. Other products will come out, different things will come out, tie rod, steering, and some of the stuff that when the geometry of the IFS changes as you lift it and you put bigger tires on it. Of course, bigger tires also heavier, and when you do some extreme off-roading, rock crawling, and stuff like that, you're starting to stress these components. Mm-hmm. So let's let that work through a little bit more before we start.
And also, we're supposed to be getting the Raptor, which does have the bigger tires and
37.
Is obviously higher off the ground. So I'll settle for that. And it does come with steps, so that's awesome.
Yeah, that we can unbolt if you ever want to go, but I don't see us going to Moab.
I still
I do
want to add some steps to the Eruption Green.
Right.
And I have found some that I like, but I also like those disappearing steps too.
Yeah, we saw some in Supercell. Where is it? Is it AIG?
Are you talking about the little?
You're talking about that. Are you talking about the power steps?
Oh, I'm talking about the power steps.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I like those AIGs that I'd showed you.
Yeah. Well, and then so when you do that step, you're going with a step /
easy
rock
on.
Slider. So, you're...
Yeah. But the power rails were pretty cool.
Oh, let's see here. And I don't want to miss anyone's comment here. So if I do, ask it again or say, hey, what about my comment? Let's see here. Correct T6 2.0. They're talking. Yeah. Last night we were actually talking about that T4 Ford trawler. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah.
So Ford bought this company back. It was a Brazilian company.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
In 2007, it was idle. Then they came back out with this trawler. It's a pretty cool looking vehicle, man. It was, but I think in 2020 that kind of went. Joshua George said, whenever they retool in Windsor for the Pacifica, it's always 2 weeks. They shut down every summer for that purpose. I'm guessing 2 to 3 weeks standard. Good point. Yeah, good to know.
So Manny has actually chimed in.
Oh, hey, Manny,
that's Manaleo, and he's asking when you're going to leave for the Bronco Fest.
I thought that was last weekend. Is it this weekend?
We thought it was last weekend.
Yeah, I've had so many things going
Virginia Bronco Fest.
Yeah.
We thought it was.
So that was the one in what is it, Whiteville or Whiteville or something like that, Southwestern Virginia. Why don't you look it up real quick?
Let me see if I can find it.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you're probably already doing that, weren't you? Yeah. I'm going to 60 says, yeah, I haven't gotten any info on the Ranger Raptor. Yep. So yeah, and hey, and All Terrain Nation, good night. Thank you. I appreciate your help.
It is this weekend.
It is this weekend. Yep. We'll talk about it in a sec. But All Terrain Nation, Dave, thank you very much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Congratulations on your Bronco being just a minor little thing, and Moab being back on that is awesome. So good job, good to know, and good news. I love good news, right? We have good vibes over here, don't we?
That's right.
Let's see, mobile, all the new racks that hold parts, the body lifting mechanism that moves the body down, line to blend. Yeah. But see, mobile, there's all of the talk about the geometry changing whenever, and the stress points whenever bigger tires and of course lifts, and it's not just the lift, but I think they're well, I don't really know. I'm going to do a video on that as well, because I do want to see what are the options out there. There's more than one. What are the options? What's the pros and the cons to it? And do you really need to do it? And if so, when and why and where and how much? So we'll try to do one of those. That's one of those complicated videos. I need to do a lot of reading on that, because I don't do a lot with suspension and geometry in off-roading. Now, setting up the rear link on a car is a little more doable. But yeah, so it's this weekend. So Manny says this weekend.
Yeah, we thought it was last weekend.
I thought it was last weekend. And then we had the family thing on Saturday. We had
my daughter's baccalaureate service. Yeah.
And then
the beach drive.
And Friday night, we couldn't go anywhere Friday night because Haley graduates. We planned on going back to the beach on Saturday. However, let's revisit this. Let's just see what this weekend holds, And that's the other good thing about what we're doing. We just load up the Bronco and roll, right?
Mm-hmm. Living.
And Bronco 78 confirmed that this weekend as well. Yep. So thank you very much. Long shot question: did AIG rock rail full length steps stick out too far? We have a Badlands with 33s non-Sasquatch.
I didn't see any. Or I didn't notice any with the full length steps.
Yeah, I didn't. I know. I need to look into it. I was just looking at so there was, for the 4-door, there's 4 individual steps, these right? Little,
I call them teeny steps, but they're just small. They look very easy to install and remove.
And they're built very well. Mm-hmm. They were very solid pieces. The one thing I was worried about was, but when I looked at them and I've seen them on other Broncos at Supercell, I was like, I want those, because
I think they're nice.
I wanted them, but now you're talking about.
But I do like the automatic ones. I really like that about the Rover, how it has the disappearing steps.
And on the Rover, they're just steps, whereas you can get the steps / rail, rock rail,
right,
rock sliders.
Now I will say though, in the Raptor, it has the steps, or the full length steps. You have to watch your shins on those though. If you're not careful, and it's not that they stuck out too far, but they are there. And with our Broncos right now, we're not used to them being there. So it would take some getting used to.
Got it. Yeah. Mobile was asking, was talking about the factory refit. Yeah, they're going, there's an comment there about the retooling. I just know I read an article that said MAP would be down for a short period. I don't even think it said a few weeks, even though Joshua was saying that 2 to 3 weeks is pretty standard. Just a little downtime. But look, quite frankly, after building all those Broncos, they need a couple weeks off. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Matt Porter said they are super easy and fantastic. That is cool. Yeah, I know whether it's the bolt-on AIG, the ones, or the ones like Mitchell has, and I'm mentioning this. I don't know the name of them. I just know that they're power steps.
He may have mentioned it in Gavin's interview video.
Well, no, he did. I'm just saying I can't remember.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember.
I've heard the name. I've probably even said it on the show before. I just can't think of it right now. Let's see.
Matt, you like the individual steps better than the single pieces.
Okay.
I would agree. If I didn't want the hidden ones, the retractable, I would go with those AIG little steps.
Well, what I liked about them was they're so solid.
Yeah, I mean, they're really sturdy. Built.
I actually watched the video of them cutting the metal and welding and stuff.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, solid product. So if you're looking for some of those, and I'd definitely like to try, a set out on one of our Broncos. Mm-hmm. But we'll definitely go from there. So what else? Oh,
it's interesting though, because you say one of the Broncos, and we keep saying this because we're trying to compare the 21 Bronco to the 22, and they are definitely. They feel different. But the 22 to me is higher.
We need to do that.
And remember that one day in the garage, we were looking at them side by side, and I can't remember, it was the 22 that appeared to be taller.
Right. And we were thinking, well, maybe there was a little bit of settling something. I was measuring from the windows down. So what we're going to do is we're going to control this. We're going to put it in the same exact spot. We're going to do particular measurements, and we're going to do it to both.
Because
the 21, the 22.
And the reason I say that is because I can get into your Bronco, the 21, easier than I can get into mine.
Right now you have the weight of the top. So the MIC versus
maybe squatting it, but that
I wouldn't know. It's not that heavy though.
No.
So what I want to say, if you're going to do a video on this, and there again, you learn this on YouTube, you need to make sure you do as much control as possible. And the control would be if you measure both Broncos, one's a hard top, one's a soft top. If you're measuring, say, to mirrors, those are fixed points, right, on both. But you would just want to throw the number out there. How much does a soft top weigh? How much does a hard top weigh? So that, you could account for some of that. Mm-hmm. Both tanks are full, or they're both on half tank or whatever. Every tire pressure is the same. Yeah, everything has to be the same. And you have to control that to make sure that you have
Now, I'm gone in 60 brings up the point. Does it feel different because the addition of the rear sway bar in the 22 models? And we've talked about, Duane has brought that up before. It could be.
So there's something about the seat. And I don't know how to quantify this.
But I don't know that the rear sway bar would affect the seat.
No, not this. No. He's talking about driving. Drivability of it. Yes.
The seat. No, the seat does.
So when you're sitting in the driver's seat, it feel like it's flat. See, you don't have as much recline.
So I don't know, because I can't compare, because I don't ever drive yours.
Hint. She gets a dig in wherever she can, I promise. Let's see. AIG knocked it out of the park on products, prototype, dome lights were amazing. Yeah, okay. So Matt, I need to check in.
The dome lights could be, the kids were fussing the other night. There's no light in this Bronco.
Yeah, and I met Matt over at Supercell East there.
Cool.
It was very, very cool. We had a nice talk there.
I just thought it was awesome to be able to meet people that you talk to on the internet or chat with on the internet.
I want some of the grab handles. The grab handles.
Yeah, I keep seeing a lot of those.
Where are you at on that? You want them?
I mean, I don't know that I necessarily need them. I mean, I utilize the little handle on the inside of the dash. Yeah. I've just made it a point. So I've gotten used to that.
Hey, by the way, if you're watching right now and haven't subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button if you don't mind, and like the video. Look, YouTube loves it when you hit that like button, and it just sends it out to other people that like the Bronco content like we're all talking about here tonight. I'm going to 60 says I actually haven't driven a 22 model Bronco yet. Our mannequin at the dealerships are all 21. Yeah, so I remember driving. So I drove my 21 to the dealership, and I drove the 22 back home, and my daughter followed me in the 21. And it was just something of, okay, the other one had what at the time, 3,000 miles on it. I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't
like 3,000. I was thinking, that's really not enough to do any kind of, wearing on a vehicle. I mean, it's a new. So, but there's some little quirks, with each of them. I'm actually going to do the measurement on that mirror. Remember the sun visor?
Oh yeah, because of the
placement. On the 21, it's different.
Yep, you brought that up.
There's a different clearance. So the sun visor on the driver's side on the 21 touches the rear view mirror. On the 22, it does not. So,
which is really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So that's the cool thing about them. They all have their little uniqueness about it, and it's kind of, I actually kind of like it. And there's nothing good or bad about either one of them. They're both great. We both love them, right? Even though you haven't driven the 21 much. But there again, it's not one over the other. It's just a little bit different feeling. So I just thought it was pretty cool. Alrighty, let's see. Rock Slide Engineering Power Steps. Very, very good. Thank you, Bronco 78, for that. I appreciate that. And yeah, and Matt, I think I just read this, but he said AIG's knocked it out of the park on both products, prototype, dome light. We did the dome lighting is something I want to look into as well. But yeah, they make a good product. They light it up like Christmas.
Yeah, I would like.
We need that. We need
I'm
that.
on their website now trying to find them. If you have the link.
Is that an oil catch can? Go back up a little bit. What was that on the left side? Or go the other way. And by the way, don't go anywhere. I want to get your help on something here. I'm getting ready to pop a picture up here.
That
right there. V3 AOS. What is that?
I have no idea.
Maybe let's look at that later. There's my note. I'm starting to see engine parts over here, and I'm liking it. All right. Switching gears from Bronco to a car. Now let me add this here. Minimize us. All right. So what do you think about this Mustang? This is a 91 Mustang GT. As you know, Fox body, emerald green and titanium silver. That was the first year of that color. I don't think it was first year of titanium. It was the first of emerald green. I ordered this car. My dad and I went to a dealership, ordered this car in February of 1991. And it's amazing when you say, it's green. It's, you compare it to that. You see the grill of the 22 Bronco behind it. Man, there's completely different greens, right?
Yeah.
One's a bluish green. The emerald green actually has a little.
So
blue.
it was called emerald green. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, emerald green and titanium silver. So here's my question. We have a lot of vehicles, and we need to start shedding some. But here's a vehicle that somebody wants to give me 10 grand for it. It looks great here. You get up on it, you see the silver strip below the driver's side window.
Needs some loving.
It needs some love. It needs a paint job. Believe it or not, it looks okay from here.
Interior work.
It needs tires. It needs some interior plastic pieces, parts, clips, things like that. It needs trim.
Doesn't it need like struts and shocks?
Dirt Connor, thank you for that super chat. Thank you so much. Love that GT. You're awesome. Appreciate that. There again, thanks for helping with the camera fund.
I know.
The technology fund. So I actually get to do some stuff because you guys are helping me.
I got to be the fall guy.
Yeah, no.
The fall girl.
Fall girl. Yeah. All right. So what would you do? Would you sell it for 10 grand or would you keep it because look, it's not beat up. It's not chopped up. It's never been in a moving accident. Someone did back into the quarter panel and they fixed it for us.
Yeah. No big deal.
No big deal. But I'm just saying it had a little bit of body work, but it's never been crashed or anything. So yeah, actually, Kevin, so the roof of the car, if you look very hard at the roof of the car, you see the little white hue to it. That's not a reflection off the trees. That's actually space between the clear coat and the paint. So it's coming apart. It's trashed. I mean, it really is. The top side is not that great. The side, you see it from a distance. So I did replace the wheels on it at some point in time. It's got a K&N air filter, Flowmasters, and it's 5-speed and it's stock. I have put I think the only thing I've ever done to it is a radiator, upper and lower hose, a bypass hose, a water pump, and a thermostat, and brakes and tires.
Maintenance, really.
Yeah, oil changes. I mean, that's it. So
and for its age, it has considerably low miles.
Mobile said, I still have my two surviving Mustangs. So would you sell this for 10 grand or would you keep it and get it, road? Oh, I need a rack and pinion. The rack in it is toast. It's well done. You can stick a fork in it. There's a little bit of play in it. Shocks and
need
struts.
A speedometer too.
No, it's the cable. No, it's the gear and the transmission.
I just remember the story you're talking about.
See, that's the thing about cars, though. You hear what we're doing. It needs a rack. It needs tires. It needs brakes. It needs headlights. It needs fog lights.
Loving.
I mean, like it needs TLC and all of this stuff that you can get. So I'm really on the fence about this. The guy wants it. He wants it bad. Wants to know when he can come pick it up. And I literally could not sleep the other night thinking about selling it. And I did it. My daughter did a video of me driving it the other day. And I watched the video and I just said, you know what? Now, if we could get a $10,000 super chat, then that would be, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Oh my goodness.
Kevin said, sell it. Let someone else make a drag car.
And it's funny that you say that because we had someone stop by here to look at it, and that's what he wanted to do with it. That was his plan. Yeah.
And Kevin was saying clay bar and wet sand can do miracles. That would be parting the waters miracle if it brought this paint back. So, so we have one sell it. And I should have done a poll on this.
Actually, you have another 4 high and 4 low says to sell it and buy Bronco mods.
Yeah, but those are not temporary.
I'm neutral because I'm not going to tell you one way or the other. I refuse to be held liable.
Hold on a second. So let's do this again. This book Driven
is about the other Mustang.
I'm not just trying to sell you a book, trust me. But there is business mixed into this, right? So my black and gold Mustang, the one that's, let me do that. The one that's in there. I'm trying to show you the one you can't see, but here it is on the book. So this car, I saw it when I was 13. I got it when I was 17. My dad and I worked on it for a year. I sold it when I was 18. Mistake. I saw it driving away before the taillights went out of sight. I knew I made a mistake. Took me 10 years to get it back. I got it back literally in boxes, parts, pieces, primered, and I got it on a Thursday. Saturday, it was going to the scrapyard to be crushed. And also, there's a little bit about sales in here. Never let someone see how excited you are to buy something. You gotta I was so happy to find this car. The guy was like $2,500. He was going to get $200 or $300 for it at the scrapyard. I bought it back for $2,500. It's all in the book. But the point of telling you that is this driven again? Do I sell the car, find it? I mean, the chances of being able to do that is rare. So I'm still deciding, but I want to throw it out there to you just because,
Well, you have several votes to keep it and several votes to sell it. So
yeah.
Yeah, next time you will have to do a real poll.
I'm going to 60 said he'd sell it and write an agreement that if he sells it, you have to offer it back to you first, right? That's how you do horses.
That's how you do horses. Yeah.
Do some horses and different stuff. Yep. Because some people, they want to make sure where it's going to go. Dirk said he'd want to keep it for high for. Yep. Sell it and buy Bronco mods.
Bronco 78. He says he wasn't ever a fan of that body style. Yeah, and he's weird, he says.
No, you're not. No,
it's your preference.
Yeah, that's your preference. Not weird at all. So.
And Kevin, you have a classic, so do you really need it? Yeah, need is the thing. We don't need it, and that's why it's on the chopping block because we only have so many people that can drive, but we have way too many cars.
So financially, it's not going to move the needle. Right. That's not, it's not a financial component. It's a space thing, right?
Yeah. It's just waste.
Yeah. Just sitting there. And it's showing its age because, here's the other part of that. If you fix it up, if I do all this stuff to it, right, then was it going to sit outside again and age again? Right. So we have,
and then the next thing,
and we do have a 4-car.
We have to build a bigger garage. We
to
have
put the Mustang in it.
Because we're not able to build onto our house where we are. So we have to move to get a bigger garage to store another vehicle.
We live on the water.
It's a watershed.
It's a creek. Trust me, we're not on the beach. It's a creek. It's one of those, high tide, it looks great. Low tide, it's like, but because of that, we can't build any, and the garage is on the same side as the creek, so we can't extend the garage. Even though I built a 4-car garage, I thought that would be enough. Uh-oh.
It's never enough. Oh, Bronco 78 said that could buy some really nice cameras.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Bronco 78, what would happen is, right? She would get the money.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. Yeehaw. Horse. Yeah. Trade one horse for another, right? Let's see.
And then Mobile Motto said, if you have to ask whether you should sell it, you shouldn't.
Oh, well, that's some pretty
deep here.
That's some pretty deep. Man, I'm impressed. That's some deep thought there.
And then how long will it last in Gavin's hands? Well, Gavin has no interest. That's the other thing.
Gavin's first vehicle will be the 21 Bronco.
Yeah. He is, unfortunately, we thought that he would be interested.
Yeah. He wants the Bronco. Now, he's also to the age where things change, right? The older you get, you know, your wants and desires change. But it's a 5-speed car. It's fun to drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one owner. What is that? 91. Is that 31 years? 91, 20 to 2022 minus 1991. This is 31 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 31 years I've owned this car, and this car has seen the. Here, let's pop it up one more time.
You know, of 5 guys, Mobile Motto, that have big storage buildings full of fun cars. Yeah.
All right, so back to Bronco off-roading. Let's see if you have to ask how long will it last in Gavin's hands if you keep it. Yep. So you just read that. Sorry, I'm a little late to the party. I know.
And then John Burnett just says, sell it and invest into your YouTube channel.
Very good. Good business sense there.
Yeah, I mean, selling it is the practical, most reasonable thing to do.
So here's the thing. Opinion. In real estate, I've got my hands on the pulse, know exactly, no questions going in. This is different though. This is not a business thing. This is something that I've had for years, right? And then, so anyway, well, I was hoping.
John Hines is asking,
10,000. Yeah, it's a cash ready to come over and trailer it away for 10 grand. You know, those cars, if you see them, and they're not even perfectly restored, but under say 50,000 miles, are going for 20, 25,000.
And Matt Porter, your comment about a 16-year-old probably shouldn't start with a 5.0. Yeah, I completely agree.
Probably shouldn't start with a Bronco either.
That's got a lot less power than the Mustang to get in trouble.
No. The 5.0 had 225 horsepower, and the Bronco is on premium 330.
All the things you used to do in that car. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Let's see. Mobile. Anyone who buys a 5.0 Mustang is going full. Yeah. Yeah. Actually,
Dana Carvey. Oh my gosh.
So that's pretty hysterical. John, and thanks for tuning in, by the way. It's nice to.
And is this the same John that I met?
Yeah.
So okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. It was great meeting you there.
Yeah, we're going to, hopefully this summer we can go and visit Tennessee again. And maybe you can take my whole family out to dinner at the most expensive restaurant in Tennessee.
Jeez.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, John's a good guy. Let's see. More safety in the Bronco. Yeah, that's a good point. So, hey, look, I appreciate you guys. You're giving me some good valid points here. Let's see. I've been fighting with the same question on my Harley. Bronco 78 said that. It's a tough one. I mean, people say, well, it's just a vehicle. Well, if it's just a house, I know I'd either keep it and rent it or I'd flip it or whatever. Yeah. It's all math. When it's a vehicle you've owned, your dad, you know, and you ordered it and you've had it since 21 and all that. Yeah, here we go. But all it is memories, right?
And those are here.
And those are here, not there.
That's right.
Man, this is getting like...
And one day, if you don't do anything with that car, it's going to be a bucket of bolts.
This is deep thinking, wild outdoors tonight. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so back to this weekend. So we had our weekend planned, and then Manny reminded us that we had our weekends wrong because I didn't go back to the website and look at the date. I know. I had so much going on last weekend. I thought that the Bronco Fest was last weekend, so it's this weekend. So now we might have to rethink what we're doing.
Plans.
We'll look at the dates again, see what's going on with it. We have graduation, Friday night. So we're here Friday night, no doubt. But then what is Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Well, we still had some other things to do.
Yeah, we have other stuff to do. But we'll I guess next Wednesday tune in and you'll find out what we actually ended up doing. Hold on, 4 high, 4 low. What is the blue book listed value? I don't know what technically it's listed at. A general search. When I put it out there for sale, someone gave me grief that I was asking so much for it.
You took some hits.
What's that? Oh yeah. They were saying, are you crazy? I'll have what you're having and all this other stuff. But what they don't know is that a one owner solid car, never been wrecked, never been hot rodded, that does need some work. These cars under 50,000 miles, they're bringing 20, 25, 30 grand. I mean, just go online and look at them, they're there. Manny says he's leaving Friday night. Okay, cool. Gotcha. Look, I really want to try to pull something together for this weekend. My 2 surviving Mustangs are safely enclosed in my 80 by 36 shop. That's a nice size shop, by the way.
Kelly Blue Book only goes back to 1992.
What was it? What is it then? Just do a 9250.
Yeah, that's what
essentially, other than the year change. It's
right.
104,000. So that's another thing. It's 104,000 miles on it. And I'm sure a couple of those were hard. Let's see, Mustang. There you go. So Becky's looking this up right now. So tune in next week, figure out what we did over the weekend. Do we go to the beach again? Do we do Southwestern Virginia Bronco Fest? I don't really know yet. We're going to figure that out. Did I sell the car? Tune in. We're not going anywhere. Don't go anywhere yet. I do want to mention, I did start talking about the Bronco Raptor, and I really didn't ask, what are your thoughts on the horsepower? I'd love to know. 418 on the horsepower, and more importantly, the torque, which is what I'm mainly concerned about, 440 feet-pounds of torque. What do you think on those numbers? Are you impressed? Are you happy with it? Would definitely like to know. John Hines said it was great meeting you 3 at East as well. You're welcome in East Tennessee anytime. Thank you for that. Just let me know if you need any help selling the next great plan to Becky.
He's so
funny.
What a salesman you are.
Yeah, and that's a compliment, by the way. John knows how to connect the dots in a conversation. So actually, we might have to talk to John about doing some training for some people on how to communicate and how to get it done. I know you can do that.
And actually, Tennessee was beautiful.
Yeah, that, and I don't know if there's any parts of Tennessee that I would like more or like less, but I know that Townsend, Pigeon Forge, that whole
was great. Area. We would love to go back and do a week there. We had so much fun. There's so much to do.
What was that? Ware Valley Road, which runs from Pigeon Forge to Townsend. That entire stretch there. And we didn't venture out much past that. We did with the group there and Tim and everyone. We went up the Foothills Parkway. We did that. We went to Elkmont. So we did, but as far as just driving in a normal civilized stretch of road, where there's houses and businesses, it was Ware Valley Road, and that whole area there, we loved it. 20,000 is reasonable for a car you don't want to sell. Yeah. Well, I don't want to sell it, but 20 grand is 20 grand. Mm-hmm. It's like the $20 is $20. 10K is fair price for the condition you stated, especially in this market. Yeah, Kevin, I agree. And when I priced it at that, I felt like, well, no, it's not showroom ready. Those are the 35,000s. The ones that need a little this, little that, but they look good. They take them to car shows. They run great. They're under 50,000 miles. They're getting somewhere around 25,000. Yeah, all of those sites like that, they're going to list it.
Low.
It's so low. It's not even, a compare. It's only original once. Well, I agree. I agree. Let's see. Somebody asked about that? Keep Mustangs off curbs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. By keeping the Mustang, you're stopping loud. Yeah. um, Matt Porter says my insurance on the Badlands is ridiculously cheap because of all the safety features. That is a good point. You know, the Bronco's full of tech, and some people like that and some don't like it.
Yeah. No, it is.
The adaptive
it is
cruise
good.
control, I'm a little on the fence about, but as far as the safety stuff, yeah.
It is, unless you have a young driver.
Yeah,
in
well,
that case, nothing.
But then they just throw the age thing out there.
Whew.
Like, we don't care how safe it is. We're worried about the other people,
Yeah.
you know, and that type
exactly.
thing. Yeah. But that is a good point. There's a lot more safety in the Bronco. We covered that earlier, but the insurance aspect of it, I didn't think about it. You know, our insurance did not go up that much. However, we did have a problem with our insurance, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Good thing you happened to think about that and check.
Yeah. So, well, it wasn't somebody doing some, you know, a business physical and personal physical, not health wise, but like business and numbers, right? And that's what they call it. It's kind of weird. But anyway, someone caught it. They said, hey, you have these two Badlands, right? Yeah. They're both 4-doors. Yep. Right. Well, the 22 is listed as a sport, and the value on it was competitive with a Badland Sport. So when they were given the VIN number initially, it was the right VIN number in the computer. Everything was the way it was supposed to be, but the value listed was $32,000. Mm-hmm. That's what? A little less than half. Mm-hmm. So it's like a $60,000 vehicle, right? It'll load it. So that's the one thing that I learned. Okay, just because the VIN number's been given, everything's there. Let's keep a check on this. Every 6 months, let's call. Hey, what's going on? Everything's still there, still look good, and all that good stuff. Not anything against the insurance company. They just plugged in the numbers that populated, and we went with it, right? And the dealers used to in our area handle all of that exclusively. Now it's sort of like you can do it while you're there as a favor type thing. So they don't technically do it, but when you're there.
Well, they get proof of your insurance policy that you're going to add it to.
Right.
They do not.
Years ago, it used to be the call. It used to be called, but they don't do that anymore. So it's up to you to do it, which we did. I mean, before we even signed the paperwork, it was added. The problem was the monetary value was wrong. It was 32, not 59.8 or whatever that 60, just say 60. All right, let's see here. And we're not telling you inside, our personal business. It's just that, hey, sometime maybe just double check your numbers and make sure that it's there. Let's see. NDM84 Raptor will lose to the 392 and a race 100%. So if you're in the quarter mile, I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm not buying a Bronco Raptor to race on the street. That's not what I do anyway. I'm buying it performance off-road. And when you look at the tech that is in the Bronco Raptor, from the suspension, the Fox suspension, to the different GOAT modes, the twin turbo, and especially in Baja where those turbos are going to be spooled up, the boost is going to be there. You're going to have a lot of power at the touch of a pedal. And you look at the fact that, hey, look, are you supposed to go off-roading and jump stuff in a Bronco? Well, in the Bronco Raptor, they've given it jump bumpers on the frame, on the control arms and the frame. So
looks like a lot of fun to me.
That tells me this thing might go airborne. So if we're trying to, if we're going after a quarter mile race at a racetrack, I wouldn't do that anyway. Like, that's not my deal. That's not what it's built for. That's where I'd break out a Shelby GT 500, 760 horsepower, 6-speed, and let her eat. That's what you run on the track. But yeah, and then someone, John Burnett said the Jeep 392 is more widely available as well. It is. It's a naturally aspirated engine. It's the same one that these guys are hopping up in the Chargers or Challengers or whatever they're putting them in. Let's see. Even there, I am skeptical. Well, I mean, come this
for off-road.
Yeah. Well, I'm not, because they take the IFS, for example. They built this if you look at it as the Ultra 4 type racer, right? Off-road, it doesn't, beat you to death in the process, bouncing around inside the cab. You have more control of the wheel. The suspension is going to keep this Bronco, keep the wheels on the ground and not hopping. And of course, on the highway, you don't have to like squeeze the steering wheel sometimes when you start hitting bumps and trying to figure out which tire wants to win that left or right battle. But I think this summer you'll start to find that out, because out on the trails, someone will send it, and we'll get to see. And I think there'll be a good competitive nature there, I think. Let's see. The Raptor 700 pounds heavier and underpowered, but the suspension excels. Yeah, I mean, we're going to see the disadvantages and the advantages and see what does it weigh out at in the end, right? What's the end result? They don't have as much horsepower, much torque, but the suspension makes it so much better to really do what it's built to do. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I've never driven a Wrangler 392, and obviously I've never driven a Raptor. So you have a valid point in questioning it. I guess we'll just find out. Let's see. Bronco Raptor is going to be nice. The seats and the screen, extra bracing, all of it. Yeah. Manny, you're right. The aluminum brace that's clad in plastic over the B-pillar, and then the carbon fiber brace that is on the sport bar in the back, that adds 50% more rigidity. The 37-inch KO2s from the factory, the Fox suspension. There's even some tech in there. Mobile, you might know on this as well, but I was reading where the camera, there's something that is supposed to look at the terrain and also help with the suspension resistance for travel. So the Bronco Raptor has 13 inches of travel in the front and 14 in the rear. That doesn't mean that, if you jump it, that's what you're going to get, because the suspension is going to help control some of that based on the terrain you're in. I don't quite understand how they're doing it visually, but I guess we'll find out. And maybe I just woke up in a dream one night and dreamed all that, and none of it's true. I don't know, but it's in my head that it's something to do with the camera working with that Fox suspension. So we'll see. Let's see. Indy M84, I would choose the Raptor over the 392 any day. Yep. I mean, and definitely automotive history. I think Tim was saying last night, it's a piece of automotive history, right? The Bronco Raptor, first year, going with a color that's unique to Ford Performance, which Code Orange is one of them.
Yeah, and it is flat paint, by the way. Code Orange.
All right, so here's the thing. It is flat. However, there is the clear coat. They have done some fancy stuff with the clear coat that gives it this little sheen. It depends on the lighting, right? The Code Orange changes a little bit. It's not mystic, nothing like that. But yeah, the sheen, I guess.
It says that you can get the Raptor in Cactus Gray as well, and Cyber Orange.
Yeah, I would imagine GPS terrain mapping and camera analysis, AI, could play a part. So one of these videos I was watching where someone was lucky enough to have access to the engineers and the Bronco. And I need to go back and find which one it is, because before I mention any further, I want to give them credit for it because they went out and filmed it and did it. But whoever it was did a really good job with this breakdown of it. So it was super impressive video, very informative. Let's see.
And it also comes in the pepper red.
Let's see here. The camera scans ahead, prepares suspension for adjustments. I read about that too. I'm going in 60. Good. So I'm not imagining it. That'd be great. Yeah. NDM 84. I'll order one as soon as I can. Yeah. And I guess are they order wise probably all sold out? Yes, because order banks are closed anyway, but there's some that's going to show up on dealer. Someone either didn't take it, they didn't do the deal, or who knows what happens, but there's going to end up, there'll be a few on the lot somewhere. And I'm sure the price will reflect the fact that it's only a few.
Manny's asking about our thoughts on the Bronco Raptor flares. They are a little wider. Now,
A little.
I'm being nice. They are big. And seeing them in the pictures at first, I wasn't a huge fan.
Right.
But the one that we saw at Supercell was the Eruption green, which kind of masked them a lot. They kind of, blended a little better. They didn't stick out, no pun intended, as much. But I guess seeing the Raptor, I don't know if that kind of offsets the flares, because to me, I mean, they could look better.
Yeah.
But I do overall, I like the Raptor.
Well, and a lot of people said that. A lot of people said, "Wow!" And even the people working the booth, most everyone that said, "Yeah, it looks better in person."
Yeah.
I think that the Eruption green, it really worked with that. Dave was saying black is probably going to be, or is the most popular
because
order.
Then you can't really tell.
I don't have an issue with them because it's a Bronco Raptor.
Yes.
37-inch tires.
Yes.
It's going to be different. You want it to look different.
Yeah, you want to set it apart from everybody else on the road.
And there again, this is something that I read. There again, I don't think I imagined it. And I think that same video that I'm talking about, remind me to do that so I can give proper credit to whoever did it. But the same video that they talked to the engineer, and there was something about the production at MAP. So first of all, they have to do some stuff with the suspension because it's too high the way it is. And so when it goes to the mod shop, they readjust. It's a bottom shock mount, I think it is. But also there was something about painting the fenders and would it go through manufacturing the way it is. There's something to do with the manufacturing and obviously cost. The fender flares that were added to that, that existing kind of a structure, because, the doors are different. Well, the back doors are slightly different because you have the flare trim on the door. The front fenders are different. They're a little wider, but they also have the gills or the air vents in them. The rear quarters are different. Really, the only two, and the hood's different. The only two pieces, and I say two because there's two of them, but it's the front doors.
Yeah.
The front doors appear to be the same. Now, if you took that trim off of the back doors, I'm sure they would be the same as well. But that's stuck to the door. I'm just saying if you took the doors off and laid them next to a tree and you wanted to put those parts on another Bronco, the two front doors would work, I think.
Now, going back to the fenders, though, could you delete those? I mean, it may be an aftermarket thing like Mitchell did. Didn't he remove his fenders when he did his lift?
Well, there's certain...
He did something.
Yeah, there's something that he did. There's certain things that you can do, but manufacturers have to cover the tires. It's a DOT thing.
Okay, so it's aftermarket.
So what could you do aftermarket? I don't know.
Yeah, you could get rid of them.
Yeah.
If you really, really wanted to. But I guess my thought is...
Well, certain states you might not be able to get rid of them.
Oh, true. Okay.
Yeah, so you have to check your area.
With the lighting and all that stuff.
Well, but it's also... Look at the rocks flying up.
Yeah, true.
Now the KO2s are going to throw less rocks than the Territories, the Goodyears.
Because I know right now rocks are a huge problem.
Yeah, rocks are a huge problem. However, we always hear that about the Goodyear Territory tires, but I'll tell you what, those tires, I was super, super impressed with that rain we were in. We were on the interstate, North Carolina. We ran through this, really flooding, this flat ground there, and it just couldn't move the water quick enough.
Gosh.
The Bronco didn't have any hydroplaning at all. It drove straight. The wind was blowing like crazy. And of course, it is not the most aerodynamic vehicle in the world, but that's not why I bought it either. I bought it because of how it looked. But it drove straight. It felt good. I was completely comfortable driving that. And there's certain vehicles I don't like driving in high winds and heavy rains. And there's one of the videos on our channel, right? And you can just hear the rain beating on the Bronco.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was great. And then the other thing is the sand. Those tires are really, really good in the sand. So super impressed with them.
Yeah, that's definitely a perk. Yeah. It's just the rocks.
It's just the rocks. So they are good, good tires, but the rock thing is an issue. So, but the KO2s have a wider tread. It's not going to sling as many rocks. Of course, I'm sure it would. So, hey, let's hit some of the comments and see what we have here. It's past your bedtime, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And we have to get one kid to school early tomorrow.
Yep. So we're going to wrap. Didn't we say early when we started this? Yeah. It's going to be abbreviated kind of quick. Don't you, that's the thing about lives, right? And you start talking, it's like, okay, we got something to do in an hour. Yeah, right. But no, I like hanging out with you, and thanks for all the comments. I do appreciate you being here. This is why we're here. So I really appreciate you being here. And also the super chats tonight. Every one of you that gave us a super chat, it's greatly, greatly appreciated, needed, and
definitely.
Thank you so much for that. I like super, super impressed. And let's see, their F-150 Raptor fenders are much nicer looking. Yeah. So mobile, I saw the 23 Bronco, or not Bronco, F-150 Raptor R today without the camo wrap on it. It's a very, very clean fender. Definitely a clean fender. I like the black fender flares on it. They're out a little bit, but not a lot. So, let's see what we got. I'm sure the aftermarket world will have solutions for the Raptor Bronco 78. I believe you are correct. The gas door is smaller, and thanks to the gas door is smaller, and also you pull the door out, push it in. You have to grab it and open it up. It's not with the catch where you press it in and it bounces open. So you physically grab it and open it. Yes, and it is not as tall, right? And also there's an accessory ready panel on the front side of that fender flare. And that's because in testing that showed where a lot of the impact happened. And so that's going to be an area that's easily replaced.
Yeah. I remember that.
And if you think about people painting them to body match the paint, it's going to, now you could put PPF on it.
Yeah. But
and that would help.
In my mind, it just fits with the intent of use of the Raptor. It's supposed to be an off-road rugged vehicle.
John has a good point. John Burnett says, and that's one reason why he likes the Everglades. It has flat fenders rather than.
Yes, I did like the flat fenders.
Yeah. So they're a sort of they're not a radius or not a perfect square. They're sort of that hybrid square there. And I don't know, John, did you notice in the door jambs that there's a seal in there that helps with the water? I don't want to ever say waterproofing because it helps with the water fording. I don't know if you noticed that in there. It's actually pretty awesome. So they did a lot more than just the vents off the diffs and in the crankcase or the transmission. Broncos need fender Murray. Oh man, mobile motto. That's pretty funny. Let's see. I was terribly unimpressed with it. Yeah. So there's different manufacturers out there making different, body parts for them. So the cat. Here comes the cat.
Something. Someone let her out.
The cat. The cat. Yeah, the cat typically photo bombs us. So she's strolling here.
Something stuck on her foot.
Oh, let's see. The Raptor fenders are either removable.
I'm gonna.
Are you out?
Yeah, because the cat has.
All right. Well, say goodbye to everyone.
Bye. Hey, it was fun as usual.
Yeah.
Nice chatting with everybody.
Nice sweatshirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you, Def Leppard.
Yeah, my favorite band. TJ gave me the old school concert poster.
Yeah, I remember that.
I need to get it. I'll hang that up in here one of these days. All right, I'm sure you can hear me better now. All right, so yeah, we'll be wrapping this up in just 1 second. I just want to make sure I got all the comments. G. Williker said replace them with Sasquatch flares. It's a different fender. So it's definitely a different fender. It's got more of the squared off side. Hear the cat in the background. The photo bombing cat is on the way. She's getting ready to make her presence known. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the Bronco Raptor flares? Yeah, we did that one. G. Willikers replace them with Sasquatch flares. Yeah, that won't work on this one. They couldn't paint them at map. She's too wide. Manny, that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I definitely heard. So it's not going to work there. Plus, with all of that rock impact, I'm not a fan of painting them anyway. Now, I do like, because you don't get this with the Sasquatch on the Outer Banks, but I do like the painted fender flares on those, but that's non-Sasquatch. It's a very clean look, and I think it adds more of that richness to that trim, which is kind of what that's for, I think. Now, when you add Sasquatch on it, then, you get rid of that as well. Let's see. Well, that's it. Let's see. Different quarter panels all together. Kevin said different quarter panels all together. Yeah. The only two parts on a Bronco Raptor and a regular four-door Bronco, like I said, that I could see is the front, the driver's door and the passenger side door. That's it, because the back one had that trim piece on it. The quarters are different. The swing gate's different, even though it looks the same dimension wise. I think it's the same, but they did that exoskeleton. They did some, what I'm understanding is the hinges are stronger, not just that exoskeleton on there to hold that 37. And then of course, all the lighting because of the width of it. So, or the Bronco, let's see. Sorry, I just missed that comment. Where'd it go? Are the Bronco power numbers based on premium fuel? In NDM84, great question. I asked that question last night. I would assume so. I would think that that number, and I don't know if Dave or Tim said this last night, because I had the same exact question, and one of them commented that you would think that they would put that best foot forward out there, or there is a thinking out there, I guess, that maybe this is a low number. Oh, by the way, that was 87. Or are they going to require 93 or 91, whatever you have in your area? Are they going to require the high octane for that engine? I don't really know. I know our Range Rover Sport requires the highest octane you can get. 93 in our area, 91 in certain areas. I'm sure there's some differences out there as well. That's a great question. Don't know. I just know it was tweeted out yesterday, and then articles went flying, 418 and 440. That's a very good question. So I can't wait to find that out. And I think when they put it onto the specs, right? Because if you go and look up the Bronco's Raptor specs, there's a lot of them on there. But to be determined, horsepower, torque, MPGs, and some other stuff. And now the MPGs and the horsepower and torque has been announced this week. I would suspect that would be sent out soon in some of the media stuff. Reinforce the weight of. Okay, I'm going in 60. Yeah, the back hinges reinforced for the weight of the 37-inch tires and wheels. Yeah, because that's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight there. Add 4.5 hour drive. Just pack up the family and hit the road. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Becky about doing that. I really want to go. And by the way, it was a great time in the Outer Banks. I kept saying Corolla because I just know that area, but it's Corova Beach actually. But that entire area there, it was cool going out there, meeting everyone. We had a great time. So I guess we'll find that in NDM84. I'm going to try to find that out. And I guess, trust me, I don't have a contact to call and ask, but it'll just be when that number hits the spec sheet, and I'm going to keep an eye on when they update it, because it'll be updated any day now, I am sure. John Burnett says, I haven't seen an Everglades in person yet. I'll tell you something else. The Everglades, a lot of people said the same thing. They had mixed emotions on it. Some thought it was great. Some thought it was okay. But when you see it in person, it's a sweet looking rig. If you like the snorkels, you're going to like it. One thing that I thought was interesting, in the passenger seat, you can see a little bit of the snorkel. And then from the driver's seat, you can barely see it. So I was thinking it was going to be more of an obstructed view. But Dave and I did that video. I think that is on, I can't remember if that video is on my channel or Dave's channel, but either one, you can go look at the Everglades review. It's not it's not in the way. I mean, it's actually pretty cool. I do like some of the stuff that they did with the water fording. Like I said, it's a 2.3 liter. The alternators on the driver's side, it is higher, but I'll tell you, it's not out of the 36-inch mark. I want to say it's like, and I don't have an official number, but measuring in the grass with a stick and then measuring it somewhere else. I mean, if one of them deals, I think it's about 34.5 inches or 34 inches off the ground. I could be wrong on that, but based, on what we saw there. So, and is that why they went with the 2.3 extra, elevation on the alternator? I don't know if it's that, or if it's more for the CFMs or the airflow because of the snorkel. Now, airflow or decibels of that airflow. I've been questioning that, so I don't really know. But I know the Everglades really does look sharp. The wheels on it are awesome. Some people like the big Everglades logo on the side. Some hate it. I liked it. So, and by the way, on that logo, it's got some cool Easter eggs on it. There's a story behind the marks on there. So definitely check that out. All right, everyone. Well, I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate every one of you for tuning in. Thank you for the super chats. It's been great. Thanks for hanging out with us for almost 2 hours. I mean, 2 hours went by just like that. Another thing I like about Wednesday nights is there is less going on, around here. So we get to spend more time and talk about more stuff. And you know what? It's been awesome. John Burnett says 36.4. Yeah, so that's the water fording number, but the alternator is slightly lower than that. It's not up that high. At least there again, we weren't on flat concrete with an actual measuring, like a tape measure or something like that. We were, it was without the proper tools, guesstimating at best. So, yeah. And so, if you have any questions about I mean, the ordering's done, but the Everglades, it's a nice rig. It really is. I think I used this in one of the videos. If Ford gave someone that wants to go overlanding or modifying their Bronco a good head start, you have the modular bumper, you have the winch, which looks sharp on there. It's a mid package, so you don't have that front camera, so you don't have to worry about that. You do have the MIC top with the roof rails or roof racks. You have the snorkel. It's more capable by a few inches into higher water, the water fording. It's got that slide out tailgate or that platform in the back, tailgate they call it. And what else was there? There was urban green. I think they call it urban green accent on the grab handles inside. Marine grade vinyl, MGV, and it's two-tone. It's not just all black. There's some color to that. Let's see. You don't have the stay bar disconnect, so you got that little Dave calls it and Kelly calls it a nuggie holder there. So you've got that, the dash, but you do have the 12-inch screen. Now that's something that in a mid package you can't get in any other Bronco, but in the Everglades it comes standard with that 12-inch screen. So there's a lot of cool factors in that, and it is, like I said, it's the head start to the modification or the overlanding Bronco. So I don't know. And it is Mobile said auto only. So it is the auto only, the automatic. But hey, you know what? It's one of those deals. You're overlanding, you put it in gear, go and enjoy the sights and concentrate on the driving, right? Not shifting and all that. Even though shifting is fun, that's one thing I like about my Fox body Mustang. One more time on that manual. I'm really struggling with what I should do with it, but maybe next week we'll have an answer. Let's see. Well, Mobile's getting technical on me here. 0.92456 meters. Removable side steps. Very good. One that I did miss. And what's funny about the side steps and that rail. So there is that rock slider, or it looks like a rock slider. We were told there that it's officially a rock rail or rock slider. And it does have the removable steps. So different than the Badlands. They look different. Probably do the exact same thing in their body mount. But they have a different dimension or a different appearance to them. So yeah, it's like I said, the Everglades, I don't think it. I think if you priced out building a lower trim Bronco to build like that, it's going to cost you more doing it, obviously aftermarket, than it would, or than buying it. So yes, it's a value. If you want all the goodies that's on it, it's definitely a value. So, all right, everyone, I'm out. Have a good night. Thank you for the super chats. Thanks for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. I can't wait to see you next Wednesday. Bye.